Hey everyone, for today's video I'm going to be talking about Demon Lord RIMURU, his kit, and whether or not you should summon for him. To start off, his slots are 6-star magic, 5-star support, and 5-star heal or physical. They're all really good slots. The triple 5-star slots are great, and to be honest, he's not the worst unit to get to LB7 considering if he's on the mono demon team with Demon Lord Vox, he won't really need that heal if Vox has it. The support slot is obviously great, and the 6-star magic is really nice for the Dark Summoner's road equip, but I wouldn't say he's needed for LP7, just that he's definitely better than a lot, and even in Demon Lord Vox's case, the support slot might be a bit better for the team, although the physical slot on RIMURU will allow everyone to do a lot more damage. As for his skill, it has a 12-second CT, and for 7 seconds, he increases his own stats by 20%. It's nothing insane, it's a nice all-stats buff that acts as a heal more than anything. It's better than nothing, although art gen would have definitely have been better here. For his arts, it does 17,000 dark damage magic, and for 45 seconds, he increases his own crit rate by 100%, and the next time he uses his super art, he gets 150 arts. It's an interesting art for sure, and it's nice that he'll be able to provide himself with crit without relying on others. The extra boost of art gen is really nice as well, since immediately after using his super art, he'll be able to then go back straight into attacking. But you won't see this in use as much if you do have a crit rate buffer or a crit resist debuffer. That is, unless the stage has crit resist built into it, in which case this is pretty good to get past general 100% crit resist stages when paired with someone like Ainz. For his true art, it does 60,000 dark damage magic, and for 40 seconds, it lowers the enemy's damage resist by 70%, which is stackable. This is a pretty strong true art because the stackable damage resist debuff that lasts for 40 seconds can get pretty high in a short amount of time. Not to say that you'll want to spam this, as his damage comes from his super art, although throwing 1 or 2 of these in there while damaging is going to have a significant increase in the team's total damage. And not only that, but it stacking with itself means that it also stacks with other units that just debuffs the enemy's damage resist, meaning he works well with them as well, even if they can't stack with themselves. As for his super art, it does 160,000 dark damage magic, and he increases his super crit rate by 40% during the super arts. And then for 30 seconds, he increases all allies' dark damage by 120%, and it's stackable. This is another insanely strong attack because not only is RIMURU doing a ton of damage himself with the super crit and damage buffing, but he's buffing other dark damagers. And with the 30-second duration, you can definitely pop out another of these, or best case scenario, maybe 3, although I feel getting 900 arts in 30 seconds is pretty demanding, as he'd need to be getting 30 arts a second. The only way I can see this being achievable is if you art before using your first super art, in which case it'll cut the cost to 750 arts, or 25 arts a second, which is still insane to get to. Although it is just barely achievable if he's benefiting from Demon Lord Vox's passive, Ainz's art gen, Diablo's passive, and RIMURU's own passive art gen. And that's not including art gen from equips, although generally speaking, without insane optimization you'll most likely have 2 buffs, but even then 240% AoE dark damage is no joke. On a mono dark team, everyone is going to be putting out insane numbers of damage, and with his super crit, RIMURU is going to be putting out staggering numbers as well. But as for his passives, he gets 5 arts a second when above 50% health, and then increases all allies' damage resist by 30% when he's below 50% health. He also gets 100% burn and paralysis resist. The burn and paralysis resist are pretty nice, but the main attraction is his other passive. The passive art gen doesn't need an explanation of why it's good, since it'll make it much easier to use his super art and rotate through his kit. And the damage resist is especially good, because while it seems not the most reliable, on a team without a shield, it basically acts as a defense equip if you all go below 50% HP. You can also cheese this by specifically making RIMURU be below 50% HP if you're with a tank or something, but I feel it works better on a team without one, because let's say you're on a team with Diablo as your main source of damage resist. If his defense slot isn't enough damage resist for the team and an attack from the boss does a lot of damage, as it's chipping away at you, right as you pass below 50% HP with everyone else, now everyone has 30% damage resist, significantly cutting away the amount of damage it does, so it is definitely pretty solid in that sense as a backup defense slot. For his true weapon, it's a 5-star support, and it increases the target's arts by 40, and for 5 seconds, increases allies' arts by 4 a second. It has a 40-second CT as well, and when it's used by RIMURU, he increases his own attack by 70%, and arts by 1 a second, as well as skill damage by 10%. While it's not needed to make him work, I think the true weapon is a must-have in the sense that it's going to make him reach his full damage potential, because that passive attack is going to scale like crazy considering he doesn't have any other attack up in his kit, and the extra passive arts and active arts is going to make that 3 stacks of his super art pretty easily achievable. So I'm definitely gonna grab it, and if I am correct, it should only be 20 rainbow gems, so it's not the most expensive either. In all though, I think Demon Lord Rimuru is definitely an insane unit. I definitely rate him as a top 10 unit in the game, and in my eyes, he's by far the strongest magic damager, and as someone without many of those, he'll have a lot of value to me. Especially when he's placed on a mono dark demon team, he'll be able to shine even more because on a team with Ainz, he gets his 200% crit damage. With Diablo, he can get that 100% dark resist debuff, and with Demon Lord Fox, he can get that heal and passive art gen. As well as when you hold all dark relics, it gives them more stats, equip CT, and damage. In all, he basically fills that piece in the mono demon team as the main DPS, because with him, he'll put out super high amounts of damage while buffing everyone else. His damage is definitely going to be no joke for sure, and his damage resist support is solid as well. As for whether or not you should summon for him, I definitely feel that you should. Even if you don't have the units needed to complete the full mono demon dark team, he's still really great when he's not on them, as he's fairly self-sufficient damage and art gen wise, especially when you pair him with someone like Stargod Liza. But if I am being honest, someone I really want to see him ran with is Rin, as she'll buff his damage by 450% and give him a magic resist debuff. I can easily see at least 1 billion damage in the damage quest for sure. If you have paid gems, they're pretty worth it for him as well, and since we don't have 2 weeks for the crossover, but rather a couple of months, make sure to save for him as they're definitely going to be having resets, step-ups, and half-offs. I'm saving for the lock-on for him as he's definitely a must-have for me as I love the character and from just how good he is. And out of all the banners, that's by far the best chance that you can have at pulling any unit. The main drawback, of course, being the fact that it costs paid gems, and it's not guaranteed either, so proceed with caution. So don't go all in for him right at the start of the crossover, spend smartly if you are going to be going all in. Although on the other hand, I'd say you should maybe hold out on whaling for him if you're going to be saving for Stargod Liza, since she is the better unit than him overall. And there's a really good chance that either immediately after or during Slime, we're going to be getting Stargod Liza in Chapter 22. Although with how hype of a unit she is, they're most likely going to want to save her for Anniversary, so I'm definitely leaning more towards the side of them saving her until after Slime, especially after they milked all of the players for their money for the Slime units. But we also have to watch out, since this crossover lasting for 2 months means that they can try and be sneaky and drop a new Saga unit somewhere between, maybe someone like Jay, which would definitely be quite the surprise. But anyways, that's about it for the video. Let me know what your thoughts are about it, as well as if you're going to be whaling for him or just doing your regular summons for him, because I'll definitely go pretty deep for him. I've been saving up a bit of paid gems for a little while now, and as I told you guys before, I'm going to try and go for him through the step up, and best case scenario, use whatever I have left to get Diablo as well, since they're both really good for a mono demon team. But anyways, thanks a bunch if you watched this far, and if you did enjoy the video, I'd appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel. I'll be talking about Demon Lord Milam and Diablo in the next couple of days, so be sure to stay tuned. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.